Good afternoon, everybody. This is the advertised time and place for the Thursday, December 18th, 2025 Planning Board meeting. Please join the board in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome. We have no public hearing, so we're going to get right into discussion items. Number one with Heather, Dave's Hot Chicken.
Do we have anybody here for the application? No, okay. It's pretty straightforward. For the record, Heather Trojanowski, planner. As the board recalls, you recently approved a site plan for the former Friendly site at 949 Old Country Road in Riverhead. Resolution number 2024-092 dated December 5th of 2024. That was for all the site work that's going to be occurring on the site, including a drive-through for a Qdoba. And at the time of review, the property owner, there was an unspecified traditional sit-down restaurant tenant. At this time, Dave's Hot Chicken is looking to fill that space. So they're coming in for some proposed facade work. And just open it up here. So this is strictly for the western half of the building. All of the elevations that were approved with the Qdoba approval are remaining. The ARB did review the elevations at their meeting on December 3rd of 2025. They did approve the facade changes subject to removing red coping at the roof and change to a gray to match what's on the Qdoba side, and then remove the red coping and rear sign on the south elevation. So the plans that you have today and that are here actually reflect those changes. These do not, sorry, it's... Sorry, I'm being loud with the papers. What was the question?
Is that, are they open yet?
Not yet. I think they might have permits. I'm not 100% sure if they've started their associated site work, but all of like the paving, landscaping, lighting upgrades, that's all remaining the same. And actually, the resolution I have on today for Dave's Hot Chicken just sort of reiterates the fact that all conditions that were in the original approval for that whole site remain in full force and effect. This approval would be limited strictly to the facade shown herein.
Are they dark sky compliant? Is the facility dark sky compliant?
So the lighting that was approved on the Qdoba side, like the whole site is, originally Dave's Hot Chicken had come with like a light bar on top, which they ended up changing. So it's just that sort of dark gray coping to match. It's not lit up here. If their signs are going to be lit, those will be separate applications made to the building department, and they will, be dark sky compliant. So other than that, not a huge change. The architect and engineer did request one change for the rear entrance. On the original Qdoba site plan approval, they had stairs going to the two tenant entrances. They're just changing it to a ramp, so it's not going to be any bigger, just a ramp, I guess, for ease of access for any vendors making deliveries, but nothing else in the approved site plan is changing.
There was another question that we had talked about in that site behind it with the fence. There was a fence issue. I don't know, is Greg here? Do you remember that fence issue, Greg, between the two parcels?
Vaguely,
I don't remember exactly what it was.
don't quote
So
me.
the Qdoba, the owners, or they agreed to replace the fence on their side. I know that it had been pushed in when we had discussed it originally. And on the Qdoba site plan, which I actually have here, the approved site plan, they do show a replacement fence. And I remember the board saying that they did not want to see a PVC fence because they tend to break in the wintertime. So yes, they're showing a 6-foot-high chain link fence with brown vinyl slats to be replaced as necessary. That was part of their original approval, and the plans are signed.
But wasn't there an access to the parcel behind it?
The cross access.
So that was a future cross-access. We had a very lengthy discussion with the property owner, and it turns out that there was already a cross-access filed, so a future cross-access. So at this time, there's no need to open anything, but in the future, if an adjacent parcel comes in, we discovered that the cross-access actually runs along both of these property lines. And I believe Jacqueline Peranto actually put that on the survey, on the site plan. Yeah, she has the easement plan here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it shows mutual access easement. So again, future cross-access, meaning it's not getting developed right now, but if this rear parcel comes in, we had a very lengthy discussion about that.
Heather, real quick, because the chicken place has no drive-through, with the amount of seating, is there plenty parking?
Yeah, so the seating for the total square footage between both tenants was calculated, and they're actually overparked, I believe. So again, all the parking that was proposed is the original site plan. The number of seats in Dave's Hot Chicken is compliant with that. So they're not exceeding the amount of seats that was under the original approval. That's for health department standards, for parking standards. They're really just coming in to do their facade work, which they had a different plan originally, and we finally got them to a place where the ARB approved it. So other than that, no other changes.
With the ARB's changes that they considered, is that part of this? Did you change that? Did you incorporate them in the change?
Yeah, so the plans that I just handed you, and the plans that are up on the screen show the coping change, and then they had additional artwork and signage back here. That's all gone.
Yeah, so they went to the gray and
Yeah, so originally they had some additional coping and artwork here. That's gone, and then all of the coping on top is now that darker color to match.
Like graffiti to me, and cracked walls, if but if ARB approved it, I
Yeah,
guess.
it was, the original design was much more busy than what's approved, so we sort of came to a happy medium, and again, the ARB, this is toned down from what they originally submitted.
Anybody else? Nope, good. Thank you, Heather. Okay, item number 2, bread, butter, and bottle, with Marissa.
I'm doing well, thank you.
As I set up everything, for the record, Marissa Trojanowski, site plan reviewer.
And August Muff, architect of record.
Alright. So, the planning department received an application, perfect, in regards to the, Suffolk County tax map number 600-20-4-2, also known as 5087 Sound Avenue, which is the Sound Avenue Liquor and Grocery Store formerly. So currently, they are looking to just further enhance the aesthetic and functionality of the site. So the uses are to remain the same, and it's going to be the existing, so it's going to be another grocery and liquor store. Currently, the project site is located within ABZ zoning use district. It's currently an improved parcel containing 2 structures, 1 commercial, 1 mixed use. Again, there's no further additions or anything. They're just looking to redo the exterior siding, the windows. They're looking to do the roof replacements and update the existing lighting features. So pretty much also within here, they're looking to do, they're showing the adequate parking. This is updated from what you guys currently have, because one of my recommendations when I did send it out was to just show the adequate parking stalls. So further, they're just looking to repave and, seal coat the existing asphalt and add additional drainage structures to the property.
On one copy, I didn't notice the dumpster corral.
Right, so, part of, in my staff report, that I sent out, one of my recommendations was just to at least show the dumpster location, because I know that was a, recommendation that the board was gonna look at. So the provided plan that that the architect, has given to show, in front of you and up on the screen, I believe does have the dumpster location at this time.
There's room for it. It's
Okay.
not actually shown on here,
Oh,
but it's gonna go right here.
Okay,
In front of a propane tank.
okay. So,
What's the use of, there's two buildings there. Obviously, there's the main building, and the one that's next to it, what's going to be there?
So it's still the existing uses are to remain the same. So currently, this building is currently, it was utilized as the Sound Avenue liquor store. That is to be the same. So it's going to be a liquor store again.
Actually, going to be two separate buildings.
Yes, and then this currently is a grocery store, and it's going to remain as a grocery store with there is a apartment above, and that is to remain the same. The only other changes that were proposed were there is garage doors to the rear side currently that goes underneath, so this comes down, and they're proposing to remove those and close them in. So it's just going to be a accessory storage below for that grocery store.
Is there anything that can be done with that telephone pole right in the middle of the parking lot?
Yeah, we've been actually talking about reaching out, presumably to the New York State DOT for that. It is in a bad location. Yeah. My client would like to improve the entrances and exits in the parking lot, and we have talked about that.
So you're gonna do curbing?
Sorry?
Curbing may go in and with designated in and out?
Possibly. We haven't actually met with the DOT or anyone yet, and so
DOT or is it Public Works?
I thought that Sound Avenue was a state road.
That's, it's a
Oh, it
town
is
road.
now. Oh,
Yeah,
that's great.
so, I
Makes
mean,
things easier.
for this application purpose, right now, it's for just to do further, like, enhance the aesthetic of it, just to put new siding and windows. If you chose to do that route, we could always, you would just have to go and get the approvals from the town, and we could talk to the highway department and things of that nature and see what they say about that.
Now, Heather, you said, Marissa, sorry, 4 new spots, parking spots?
Yes, so originally it was shown on the plan that you have in front, the board has in front of them, it showed 7 spots. From the parking calculation, it was shown that 11 was needed, so additional 4 would have had to be provided. Yep. And then, the other 2 were for the back for the apartment purposes. So it would be a total of 11. And then there was also recommended that the handicap, one of the 11 spaces be for handicap ADA purposes, which is shown here.
Any further need to go to the health department?
No, just because the uses are remaining the same. So there's really not a need to go to health
So
department.
it's been ongoing, it hasn't, okay.
Correct.
Have you heard anything back from the fire marshal on it?
So I did send it out to the Town of Riverhead Fire Marshal. He had no further comments. I did also refer it out to the town engineer. The 2 comments that he had was asking to complete a soil boring, which I believe
Got that done yesterday.
this was new to me, but good. So the soil boring, and then he just wanted further information in regards to the details and specs of the new electrical fixtures, which I believe I did attach, and then we also have it put on this updated plan as well. The only other thing that I wrote as any of the conditions was just to meet the town engineer's comments, which seem to be rectified, and that the exterior lighting is to comply with the town code, and to the proposed dumpster location. It can be shown, if possible, and that was about it. Because the parking has been addressed and shown on this plan.
Is the entire facility lighting compliant at the end of the day?
So with currently the existing lighting, they're looking to upgrade the fixtures so that they are going to be dark skies compliant with the town code, as they are right now. I'm not essentially too sure.
I can speak to that. There was a very large sodium incandescent light from the 1970s. It's got put in the dumpster.
Okay.
And now we've done all dark sky
Is there
compliant.
going to be a new street sign, the old one taken down, or is that part of this plan?
The old signs are going to remain. They work. We had them relamped. And there will be a separate sign application from Going Signs from Huntington.
Just one more question, getting back to the fire marshal. The apartment above is going to remain as is, correct?
Yes.
But you're going to replace the windows,
Yes.
right, according to the plan?
Yes. So I mean, it's replacing like in kind. In regards to the windows, were you referencing like the?
Egress.
Yeah, so that would be with the building department as well. When they do the proper inspections, and when they review the plans, they'll notice if it meets the egress or not, as they are right now. I don't have those in front of me, but I can definitely write that down as a recommendation.
They look like they're big enough, but I was just going to say,
Yeah.
just don't shrink them in size.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe it was like in kind, so if anything, I will write that down for them.
Anybody else? Nope. Okay, good luck. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Item number 3, TJOC Real Estate Holdings with Greg. Hi, Ed. Like a tie.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just get everybody's names.
Trojanowski, 533 Elton Street, Riverhead.
Mike Kelly for TJOC.
Larry Davis, attorney for TJOC.
Matthew Aylward, R&M Engineering, Site Civil Engineer.
Chick Voorhees, NPV, Melville.
Greg Bergman, Senior Planner, Town of Riverhead. So what we have is just a quick discussion for the TJOC Real Estate Holdings LLC, a draft finding statement for the major subdivision and site plan. Just a quick brief backstory on it. This is both a major subdivision application as well as a site plan seeking to subdivide an existing 15.87 acre parcel. The proposed major subdivision will create 7 single-family residential lots, 1 lot dedicated for an on-site sewage treatment plant, a roadway proposed to be dedicated to the town of Riverhead, stormwater management parcel, as well as a retention of a 4.98 mixed-use zoned commercial parcel up on the front, the south portion of the property on Middle Country Road. So we went through the full secret review process on this. It was a type 1 action. The board issued a pause deck. We went through public scoping, submission of a draft environmental impact statement. We had public hearings on that. Final environmental impact statement was prepared. And what I did, we had a discussion on this at the planning board meeting on November 20th. There were 2 different, I basically prepared 2 identical finding statements with 1 exception dealing with the alternative layout of the site. The applicant had made their position for the desired layout. So I basically did 1 finding statement with the applicant's preferred design and one finding statement with the alternative design with the building rotated. The applicant yesterday afternoon submitted a letter in support of the applicant's preferred design, which I distributed to the board. So really to just go through and get the board's opinion on which way they'd like to go. I wasn't really clear when we left the last discussion on this. So I just wanted to present the board with basically 2 different finding statements. In the end, we still get to the same. There is a positive findings on this, meaning that any potential impact will be mitigated with the incorporation of the sewage treatment plant, the proposed eastbound left turn lane into the site, and all of the mitigation that has been designed into the project. We still get to the same goal. It's just a question of which alternative or the preferred alternative for the applicant.
Alrighty, I reviewed their letter. I find it to be reasonable. I mean, I think it's a business decision. It does meet the criteria of the code and law, and I think it's a personal business opinion which will lay out what work best for you. So for one, I'm happy to go with the applicant's thing. I understand Kenny's point too. It's a good point, but the applicant wants us this way. It meets the criteria of the law. For me, I'm all right with it.
I have to reiterate exactly what he said. I feel the same way. You guys are better at this than I think we are. I do know from my years being involved in real estate that, the retail portion of it is a major thing for you guys, and, I don't believe that we should be telling you how to do it, I think it's your money, You can't come back and say, because we changed the orientation, now we can't rent a place, what do we do, so I agree with Ed.
I'm the same. I'm the same way.
Gentlemen,
It's a decision that you guys have to make, and kind of reminded me of the shops out at the east end. You really don't see them from the highway. They're kind of tucked away, but yet those stores, they all do very well for themselves. And there's really no advertising or anything there either, similar to your project, so I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah, gentlemen, you know my feelings, and I just one more time explain it. That with this picture, there's nothing that screams to me about any commercial whatsoever. Today I sat for 15 minutes on right next to Malowski's farm, just 15 minutes. There were 14 large vehicles, large trucks. 8 of them were tractor trailers, just in 15 minutes. And at 55 to 60 miles an hour, they do make a lot of noise. And just picture yourself sitting in one of the apartments for 24 hours on a Saturday or whatever. And that's one of the points that I'm trying to bring out. Take this and just move it around, and now 90% of those residents won't be anywhere near the road as they are on the other end. And I know the commercial part of it is a good point. But Tanger 1 has 20 stores that are empty. And if you're putting all your money on the commercial, that's a tough sell for me. I think the residential is as important as the commercial is. And I feel that the people I've shown these plans to, they all say to me, why would I want to live 25 to 50 feet off of Route 25? There are slower streets in the town of Riverhead that you do live near, in the apartments on Main Street, but you only do it 5 or 10 miles an hour. And that's my biggest concern when I hear, the people in our community, what they tell me. I have no objection to the project. It's just that I feel that to just reverse it, even because not a shovel has been in the ground, just to reverse it would be a benefit to you guys and to the town of Riverhead, my opinion. Thanks, guys.
Okay, well, you made some great points, Kenny, but I think there's a quorum that will go with the applicant's ideas. But your point,
Chairman, just
Mr. Chairman,
one quick point.
I just want to make a point. So, Greg, you're going to add that resolution, because I noticed it wasn't on I figured it wasn't on the resolutions because you had to make which one.
So what I'm going to do is, now that we've come to a decision, I'll draft a resolution for the finding statement, and I would see why we couldn't issue, preliminary approvals for the subdivision and site plan. Those will be spelled out more in the resolutions approving those actions, but just sequentially speaking, the subdivision would need to be approved and filed, because really, as it stands right now, the commercial development is proposed on a lot that doesn't currently exist. It's just a matter of timing. I don't see why we couldn't issue them concurrently. It's just a matter of, a final approval for the site plan I couldn't envision until that lot is actually created with real property tax service. But again, the applicant has done their diligence. They went through the full review, minimized the impact, so I don't see why we couldn't, keep it going and getting them towards their approvals as they're required.
So are we gonna vote on anything today?
I don't have a resolution. I'd have them prepared for the next meeting, but again, I would likely have 3 resolutions. One would be the finding statement, and then there would be a preliminary on the subdivision as well as a preliminary on the site plan. Again, just kind of flushed out the conditions in those.
Okay.
Okay, good luck.
Well on over.
Ed, just
Thank you.
very quickly, there's a letter that's been added to the record as of this afternoon that I just want to bring to your attention. Greg has it, but I emailed it just minutes before the meeting started. And it is from Douglas Elman Commercial Real Estate, the president of that group, Mike Murphy. And he supports the proposed design as desired by the applicant. So there's just an additional piece of information for your file.
Okay,
Quick
appreciate it.
question, gentlemen. Are there going to be any commercial signage on 25, on the building, or?
Whatever the code allows.
Whatever is allowed by the sign ordinance that we have in the town of Riverhead, that's what it would be. And I believe with multiple listings, it's gonna be the new, it's the new signage that's allowed currently.
I mean,
Not the-
there would be a directory, I'm assuming there would be a directory sign listing the
A
businesses.
directory sign, right.
I mean, in terms of where signage would be located on the building, I mean, that's a different
Well,
question.
it's right in the sign code. We have to comply with the sign code anyway.
But it wouldn't be on each individual?
No, there'll be a directory sign in the front. Right, that's it. They don't allow that. In fact, what you see down the road is no longer allowed in the town of Riverhead. The way it's considered, we have a new sign code now that was revised years ago, 10 years ago or something, so.
You realize that the next meeting is January 15th, it's a month away, okay?
Anything else? Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you very long way, thank you.
All righty. Item number 4, Summerlin Farms major subdivision with Greg.
We zoom in a little bit, that's good, Justin. Good.
Summerlin's?
Yes.
Yeah, you're up now.
He's Vincent Calvosi, he's not someone. I'm just kidding.
Just give your name for the record.
Vincent Calvosa, Red's Adventure.
All right, so this is just a follow-up. We've received the submission of the preliminary plat application for the Summerlin Farm major subdivision. This is a subdivision of an approximately 30.128 acre parcel, which is located on 200 Peconic Bay Boulevard in Aquabog. The property is split zoned between the Residence B40 and Residence B80 zoning use district. The planning board did approve a as-of-right yield of this property of 19 lots, which demonstrated compliance with all the required zoning elements, as well as the exclusion of wetlands. Back in September of 2025, the board selected its preferred sketch plan, which was a 16-lot sketch plan. It involves the creation of a proposed roadway to be dedicated to the town of Riverhead, which would serve a number of lots off of Peconic Bay Boulevard. There's a common driveway to the south end of the property, and then there's 2 lots that would take access off of the terminus of the Sun Up Trail major subdivision, which is located to the east. Since we've last spoke, the applicant has received the required tidal wetlands permit from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. They require that permit because they're within the 300-foot tidal wetland jurisdiction. So they received DEC permits. The proposed action is a type 1 action, and it involves disturbance in excess of 10 acres. I did distribute secret coordination materials back on November 3rd. We have received no objection to the planning board's lead agency request. as is standard practice, I just will recommend prior to the issuance of a determination of significance, that the applicant's map and plan with the Riverhead Water District be completed so that we can understand, both the board can understand as well as the applicant can understand what the required improvements to provide the parcel with public water, or what improvements will be required. The previous version of the plan had called for the elimination or abandonment of an existing 16-foot wide right-of-way, a farm right-of-way on the eastern portion of the property. The applicant did some investigative work, and it turns out there are other properties who have a vested interest in that right-of-way, so based on that information, the plans no longer call for the abandonment of that right-of-way, so that will remain intact as is. It would be unaffected by the subdivision. The plans were reviewed by the Suffolk County Planning Commission at its meeting on December 3rd. Planning Commission, by their resolution ZSR 25-52, they recommended approval. There were about 19 comments. There were no conditions imposed by the Planning Commission. So their comments for the board to consider in reviewing the proposed subdivision. We did, when we were reviewing the sketch plans on this and the yield plan, we did receive a correspondence from the Parks and Rec Superintendent regarding the park and rec fee. He didn't really feel that the site was appropriate for set-aside land for parks, so he would like to see the park and rec fee in lieu of the dedication of parkland. Again, I touched on the DEC tidal wetlands permit. DEC did have no objection to the planning board acting as lead agency. They did just provide some comments regarding clearing relative to the northern long-eared bat. So basically saying that no tree clearing can occur between March 1st and November 30th of any calendar year. If they do intend to undertake any type of clearing activities, they would require an incidental taking permit from the New York State DEC. The applicant did some extensive archaeological work on the site. That was done in consultation with the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. We got a letter from the OPRHP dated April 25th of 2025. They issued the opinion that no historic properties, including archaeological and/or historic resources, would be adversely affected by the undertaking, with the condition that short-term and long-term avoidance measures outlined in their avoidance plan are implemented. Those avoidance measures had to do with this area. I believe it's like a roughly 0.08 acre area up near Peconic Bay Boulevard that is required to be a non-disturbance area. I did refer the plans to Vincent Gaudiello for his review and comment. The plans were referred to the Riverhead Water District. The applicant has paid for the map and plan for the Water District extension, so that's currently being prepared. And the applicant did file a stormwater pollution prevention plan. They've got first round comments from from our town engineers consultants on that. We're just waiting for Vinny Gaudiello's comments just to make sure that there's no conflicting elements between those two rounds of engineering review. Other than that, we do have a resolution on to schedule a public hearing on the preliminary plat. I have that scheduled for the first meeting in November. It's an evening meeting, so it'll afford an opportunity. Did I say February? November? Sorry.
Not gonna make them wait.
Last month is November, yes, for February, I apologize. It's an evening meeting, so it'll afford members of the public an opportunity to come out and speak on the application. I will acknowledge, earlier today, we received a letter from a number of residents. It was kind of co-signed by the residents of Fox Chaser Place. Again, I'm sure those comments will be submitted for the record when we have a public hearing, but I distributed that to the board this afternoon. That will be included on the next planning board meeting's agenda correspondence section. So that's it. That's where we're at. Just continuing the review of the application.
Okay, so we'll have a public hearing and see what they say.
Mr. Chairman, I'm extremely happy with them putting the entrance and exit further east on that.
Agreed.
What is that little building in the open space area?
So this is this one? Joe, you're talking about this one on the map?
Yes.
So these are proposed, I mean, there is a much greater level of detail on this preliminary plat than is actually required. When we talk about a subdivision, we typically don't show proposed dwellings, proposed driveways. We're really creating the lots. We're not looking to bind, Mr. Calvoso or any potential future owner of a lot that they wish to develop. These are just done for demonstrative purposes to demonstrate that they meet the required setbacks for the subdivision. But this is a farm lot. It is a retained area, so they could, it is one of the buildable areas. But this would be the preservation area back here, as well as, they're really creating two sort of separate, two separate farm lots. And again, we've had, the board has had numerous discussions on the sketch plan aspect of this. I think this plan has sort of respected neighboring residents in terms of keeping existing vistas where they exist, keeping the tracts of farmland. There were other options that the board looked at that basically developed these entire areas. So this would be the developable area for this lot number 5, with the remainder of this area being the agricultural open space.
The entranceway for the first few lots here.
The common driveway?
Yeah. Is that going to be a town road at all?
Nope, that will be a private common driveway. There would have to be an easement placed over that that describes interest of the lots that have access over that. That is not built to town standards, so that will not be dedicated to the town of Riverhead.
But the last question is, the end of the road, would a cul-de-sac work better? A circular instead of those two little?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, Mr. Chairman, to answer your question in regards to the design of the common driveway, it actually is adhering to most of the town standards as far as turning radius and the fire apparatus turnaround. That's actually a detail that has come out of the fire code for the turnaround of the fire trucks. So that radius at the end, made to blend in as sort of like a driveway turnaround rather than having a roadway, just to kind of keep the natural effect in that section of the development. So that there is designed for fire trucks to turn. Hammerhead turnaround? Yes, it's called the hammerhead turnaround, and it comes right out of the detail from the fire code.
Good, thank you.
So the future use of that farmland, should it change from what it is right now, and it would become a burden on all those homeowners, is there any restrictions that we can put in there?
So we have standard language. Anytime we do a cluster subdivision, there are agricultural easements that are placed over any farm lot or any preserved area.
I understand, but if it were an undesirable type farm of whatever, if that's possible. I mean, there was some comments made, and
So, undesirable type farm, there are things that are considered agricultural commodities under New York State Ag and Markets law. It's not really, I don't think we really have a place to say we approve of that type of farming or we disapprove of that type of farming. If something is considered an agricultural crop under New York State law, I think we'd be hard pressed to say you can't grow that crop where agricultural production is permitted.
All right, so for example, we couldn't say vertical farming would not be allowed.
Couldn't say what?
I'm just picking it out of the,
What type of farm?
vertical.
This is a discussion that we have sort of segued into, and while it's not necessarily, not specifically relevant to this, this is something that has come up in discussion very recently with the board. Again, I have rendered a zoning determination which has been provided to the board that spells out both from Town Code, New York State Ag and Markets Law, Title 9, 9 NYCRR, that sort of very clearly, in my opinion, spells out what is permitted to be grown and what we can grow. And there's the New York State Ag and Markets had previously issued an opinion on what's known as vertical farming, and they consider vertical farming to be agricultural in nature.
I just threw it out there, right? I'm not saying that's the thing.
No, but I'm just trying to answer your question as fully and completely as I can. That
public hearing will straighten out a lot of this anyway. I just asked.
Look, in agricultural open space easement, there can be language in there to protect neighboring residents in terms of, lot coverage, et cetera. But I don't think we can get to the level where we can dictate if something is an agricultural crop. I don't think we can dictate that they can or can't grow it there.
Okay.
If I could just also add that we made application to the Suffolk County Department of Health Services. We've been through 2 rounds of their comments, and they're basically at a point pending approval from, or decision from the town, on the secret and the subdivision itself.
Okay. Anything else, Greg? Colleagues? Okay, well, we'll see you in the beginning of February. Thank you. Thank you. All right, number 5, Cauliflower Square, also known as Long Island Cauliflower Association, with Greg. How you doing, Richard?
Good, how are you, Ed? Keep trying every day.
Let's give you names for the record, please.
Richard Israel, Richmond Realty, 889 Harrison Avenue, Riverhead, New York.
So very brief follow-up on the discussion that we last had about what's now known as Cauliflower Square, previously known as the Long Island Cauliflower Association site plan. The applicant had submitted a site plan amendment application to essentially reconfigure the Chick-fil-A portion of the site, keeping all of the components of the site plan intact, including access on 58, both accesses on Mill Road, mitigation along Mill Road, including the inclusion of a left-hand northbound turn lane. The application, the amendment sought to reconfigure the orientation of the Chick-fil-A building, was previously proposed over here, reconfigure the interior parking lot. Where we last left off with the planning board was really what I'll call the beefing up of the landscaping plan along 58. Based on discussions and the work through that the applicant did with the fire marshal in the Riverhead Water District, they had to jack underneath County Road 58 to bring water service, basically at 2 locations on the site, one being along 58, the other being at the north end of the site on Mill Road. So there is an RPZ along 58. The landscaping plan, the applicant came in and worked with Matt and Heather, our resident green thumbs, to provide a very robust landscaping plan that will help beautify the property and screen the property, screen that RPZ specifically. What they've provided is a very robust native landscaping plan that will really probably be one of the nicer landscape sites on 58 once it's completed. Beyond that, again, no additional secret review. The secret analysis that we did for this project it's gone through several different iterations. The traffic impact statement analyzed essentially, I don't want to call it the worst case scenario, but it analyzed the most intense development of the property, which was 3 drive-through restaurants and a traditional sit-down restaurant. The site plan had since been amended to those 3 northern buildings, 2, 3, and 4 are proposed as medical office. But again, we analyzed the most intense use and incorporated all those mitigating measures into the site. So I have a resolution to approve the amended site plan inclusive of all this. There are some just additional, some minor changes before the plans are signed by the chairman. And before we run off additional sets, I just want to make sure that all those changes have been incorporated. So carrying through all the conditions from the original final approval into this amended approval to allow them to continue.
Okay.
Okay, can I?
Mr. Mayor.
Okay. I was concerned with the entrance on Old Country Road.
Okay.
And I was following it goes up, and then the people make a right turn. But that's also the same intersection as the Mill Road. That's just, in other words, those 2 are converging together. And I'm just wondering, what exactly is that? Is that going to be a traffic light or in the center there?
Traffic light. So there is no traffic light in the interior, in this portion. They are redoing the traffic signal on Mill Road, but there is no.
I'm just looking at that intersection where the 2 roads, where the county road follows to the right, and then the main entrance off of Mill Road. There's something in the center there.
That's a, so you're talking about, if you look at the screen, are you talking about this box right there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just a sign that says,
We've been required by the,
yeah, fire zone. I mean, that's just a sign that indicates fire zone.
so there's really going to be a merge there of the two entrances.
There will be it's the exit of the Chick-fil-A site onto where people would decide whether they're heading east or west. If they're heading west, they should make a left-hand turn there, and then lead to that westerly service road, we'll call it, that leads out to 58 and continues
Oh,
on.
yeah, they can go both ways, yeah.
And if they're heading east, they must make a right-hand turn, get to Mill Road, come to the light at Mill Road and make a,
Yeah, it just seems that you have people coming in from Old Country Road as well as Mill Road. There's going to be a convergence there.
so a person who's going to make that right-hand turn off of Old Country Road, they're either going to continue on to the other sites to the north, or they're going to make a right and lead into the Chick-fil-A site.
That's right.
So there's
They will
no
also meet this people coming in the other way from Mill Road. And I'm
There
just
are
saying
people
that
coming in
there's
from
potential
Mill Road.
there for
So
a jam up.
the island that you see that's in the middle, or the marking designates that at least people will stay within their lanes, especially by that traffic. And I believe that it's a double lane at that point.
Yeah, so it is a,
You know,
so one
we
thing,
don't want to create a turning lane within, because that's just going to confuse people even more, the more lines that there are. And I think that's what the planners figured out. I think that's what Young and Young figured out, was to just keep it flowing. We don't see this as having hundreds of
As a
vehicles.
sign or a marking sign for directions. So I noticed that you got the cars coming in on that side of it, and you got the cars coming in from Mill Road, from Old Country Road, the same spot. So there's going to be a convergence there. And I'm just worried that at some point there might be a lot of traffic.
so I mean, one thing that maybe we can, amend the resolution if you want. We can incorporate, the painting in the intersection here, do not block the box, just in case there's a concern of potential congestion and conflicting traffic movements. That way this area remains clear for someone coming into the site to make a left. This area should remain clear for someone going into the drive-through.
And there's also the entrance itself. It seems to me, you have 24 feet listed there, but it would seem to me that you might want to take something on I don't know where it would be, on the other side there, and just shorten that instead of it being from the street, make it a little wider.
So widen this, the throat of this opening into the Chick-fil-A
Is it
site?
24 feet there?
It is 24 feet.
Yeah,
I mean, if that was widened a bit, I mean, again, when we go out and do an inspection, I mean, if it's wide, as long as it meets code, which is 24 feet, if it was larger and a little bit wider, I would consider that a field change. I mean, I think the applicant, if they desire, I wouldn't have, when I go out to do.
Coming into the restaurant, I'm going to have to go out that way.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, everyone coming in.
We want them to remain in a single file. As you widen entrances, people say, oh, I can fit next to that guy. That guy's making the left turn. I'm going to sleep into here. We want that, in order for it to be truly safe, the person that's here has to make the determination. If they're making a left, okay, we don't want a person coming to the side of them to make the right, to pass by, because he can't see what you're suggesting, that person coming up that westerly thing and making that right, he can't see him, and he doesn't know, is that person going to turn into Chick, or did he just cut through because he missed his Mill Road?
And just the last question then is for the people going out.
Of-
If they've been to Chick-fil-A and they parked and they go
Yep.
out, they can only make a right turn?
No, they can make a left turn. Actually, the state wants them, or the county, I believe there's another sign directly across from that tells people, if you're going to 495 or heading west on Old Country, make a left. because they want them to travel down there and exit that way and not clog the Mill Road exit. You know, like,
So you're gonna have, okay, it's gonna be a nice intersection.
Box idea, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, and that's simple road striping. That's not significant. I will say, and Mr. Israel will confirm that, this change was requested by Chick-fil-A, and I will say, Chick-fil-A at all their locations that I've seen, they do very well in terms of traffic management. A couple of years ago, they built one over by my parents' house in Smithtown, and I heard comments. I sort of listened in on that just because I was interested, and I'm in the business. There were concerns, there was going to be overwhelming traffic. It was sort of the same thing that we heard from Sonic when Sonic first came in. I tell you, every time I go there to pick up my daughter, I never see any sort of traffic congestion in that. They've got people out there, they're ambassadors directing people. As the board will remember, on the original iteration, if there was a concern about during peak times, Chick-fil-A sort of created a plan where instead of people kind of like stopping here waiting to get into the drive-through lane, they'd have people direct them through the parking lot to sort of create the additional queuing capacity within the site rather than creating a congestion, a choke point. That doesn't do well for their business or the surrounding community. So I'm pretty confident that Chick-fil-A will manage their traffic well on site.
Yeah, I have a question about the RPZ on Route 58. I see you have plantings around it and all, but I think that we should have something substantial in front of it to stop cars if there's an accident, distracted drivers, if they crash into that RPZ because of its proximity to 58. I spoke with Frank Mancini. He says that thing has the potential to pump out 1,000 gallons a minute if it's broken. 1,000 gallons a minute, if it takes the water department a half hour to get there, that's over 30,000 gallons of water. That could wreak some havoc on your property and on 58. Could wash out your land.
You can gladly put bollards around it and the like, but that is, it's 15 feet back, but I don't care about
40 miles an
bollards
hour.
or nothing.
I'm sorry?
But I can gladly put bollards or some protection, but we're also looking for beautification, so.
I understand, but if the bollards or something is behind the greenery, then at least if they go through the trees, at least the bollards could stop them before they hit that RPZ.
No issue with that. There'll be so many bollards on this property protecting other things. It's a couple
I
of.
think that would be something that would be, it'd be worth, putting in there for your protection and for the town's protection.
We would probably do that anyway, but
Is that right?
it may not be on the plan,
Okay.
Because this came up, it sort of echoes, not that it was protecting an RPZ, but when I reviewed the old Pizza Hut site on the corner of the traffic circle in Roanoke, there was a low block retaining wall. Again, it's attractive, it can be they can incorporate landscaping. I don't know necessarily if someone was going 40 miles an hour, if a bollard would necessarily
Depends on how far down in the ground it would be.
It's
what
going to
the
be,
weight
in
is.
the issue is, yes, we'll surround it with concrete, this or that, but it's still in dirt. If something hits something going at any magnitude, it takes down telephone poles, let alone
Oh, sure.
a bollard.
But at least if it slows it down enough where it won't break the pipe, maybe it'll rest up against
Well,
it.
you got to remember, there's an entire structure over that. There's a hot box.
Right, but what are they rated for as far as impact?
No idea.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to protect this thing from having a potential problem in the future, like for yourself and for the town.
Correct, but we also have signage, pilot signs and things like that. If people hit them, they're gonna, but I understand your concept of the water, so.
Would it be possible, Mr. Israel, to incorporate a low sort of block wall there? It provides attractive, aesthetics.
I probably have to go back to the county because we're allowing the county to do their taking and,
A couple of bollards would probably do it. Paint and green.
well, again, metal doesn't hurt us. This is not a $300,000 project. What's going into the ground here, and after Chick-fil-A has finished up with us, it's millions of dollars to do a simple site.
Right.
And you see that happening as we speak. And the whole water main thing is
is a sore subject because
I've
there was
heard.
no, in my opinion, no reason for it, but the Riverhead Water wanted it, and the fire commissioners wanted it, and Chick-fil-A doesn't, we've just put a massive amount of landscaping in front of here, and we just had conversations with Chick-fil-A to tell them, this is what's necessary. As you know, in this town, I try to work with everybody. I try to keep all our sites clean, neat, and everything else. So I don't mind landscaping. Retail tenants do. As we can see with our car dealers and everything else, they don't want anything blocked. They want you to see that car parked right at the thing. But so I have to give some respect to Chick-fil-A that they're coming here, they themselves are making a massive investment. We want them to succeed, so we don't need to put them behind arborvitaes. Heather and Matt have done a great job, and the like. So I think we're there. If I don't know how to protect this RPZ valve, to be honest with you. Other sites, we wanted to build sheds, and the board refused to allow us to do that. So we'll try to protect it as best we can. The water meter is before it.
To go. Sorry?
The water meter is before that RPZ, so it will be easily to shut it off in both locations. The water department has required us actually to connect this and run it to the north, and it will also somehow feed, it's a loop. So
It's nice if the shutoffs are on higher ground, because if it does flood and
it won't shut it. If someone hits this RPZ valve,
Right.
it's not going to be shut off there. It's going to be destroyed. We're going to go back to the meter and cut it off there,
and where is that located?
about 5 feet away. It's right before the RPZ valve. The meter that comes off the town, your water first goes into a water meter, then the RPZ valve.
Okay.
The RPZ valve is private, per se, and then it goes down into the ground and goes to service all of the.
So is that in a vault then? The meter's in a vault?
The meter is in an underground vault,
So if
or
it's flooded, then they're gonna have to go back to something even before that.
I mean, the water district has dealt with fire hydrants that have been struck on 58, and they've addressed those issues before. So I mean, I think the water district is well versed in sort of emergency management.
Well, when I spoke with Frank, he said that would be a good idea also. He agreed with me about putting something there to protect it. So
what I'll say, I will call it out when we get to the resolution. But I'll just recommend that on page 3 of the resolution, in the first resolved on page 3, where it says, prior to the issuance of a building permit, the following conditions shall be satisfied. The planning board chairman shall sign 6 copies of the final site plan. Prior to signature, the plan shall be revised as follows. I'll recommend the addition of condition number 4, and that plan shall be revised to show impact protection measures around the RPZ along County Road 58.
thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, we'll have a resolution in a little while.
Thank you.
Okay, that's the end of comment period. Now it's public comments on any resolution. Anybody?
I'll move resolution 2025-115, Dave's Hot Chicken, granting approval of a site plan application, proposing the exterior alterations. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, Mr. Zanicki.
Yes.
Mr. Hogan.
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro. Mr. Bear.
Yes.
And I vote aye, motion carries.
I'll move resolution 116, classifying action pursuant to SEQA and grants administrative approval for the site plan of Bread and Butter.
Second.
Moved and seconded, Mr. Zanicki.
Yes.
Mr. Hogan.
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro. Mr. Bear.
Yes.
And I vote aye, the resolution carries.
I'll move resolution 2025-117, Cauliflower Square.
So just before we get to the motion, I will recommend the amendment that I discussed. Third page, first resolve on the third page, going to add condition number 1.IV. Plan shall be revised to show impact protection measures around the RPZ on County Route 58.
Perfect.
So I guess move it as amended.
As amended. Okay, so the resolution granting approval for the amendment to the previously approved site application for Long Island Cauliflower Association as amended. So moved.
Second,
Moved in second. Mr. Zilnicki.
as amended.
Mr. Hogan.
Yes, as amended.
Mr. Nenaro.
Aye.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
And I vote aye, the motion carries.
Resolution 2025-118, Summerwind Farm Major Subdivision. Resolution to schedule a public hearing on a preliminary plat for a 16-lot residential subdivision.
Second. Moved in second. What's the date of that public hearing?
First meeting, February 5th.
Thank you. Did we have somebody move it?
Yes.
Second?
Yes.
Moved in second, Mr. Zilnicki.
Yes.
Mr. Hogan.
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro. Mr. Bear.
Yes.
And I vote aye, the motion carries. Okay, at this time, public comments on all matters. Okay, no takers.
Minutes of November 20th.
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second for the minutes. Mr. Zilnicki.
Yes.
Mr. Hogan.
Yes.
Mr. Nenaro. Mr. Bear.
Yes.
And I vote aye, the motion carries. Greg, any seeker?
We got these. We're not gonna do the December 4th meeting?
It's not ready.
I didn't put them on the agenda because I wanted you guys to have a chance to look at them, so next meeting.
Any other business, staff, correspondence? Nobody wrote to us? Wow. The next meeting is going to be Thursday, January 15th, 2026. We are going to make a motion to go into executive session to have a discussion with legal counsel. We're not going to come back and do any town business, so if you folks want to leave, you can. We're going to open the meeting back up and then close it officially, but there'll be no further town business conducted tonight. And everybody have a safe and happy holiday, please.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Merry Christmas.
And thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
The group.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Okay, somebody want to make a motion to go into executive session?
Second. Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're willing to work with her.
Okay, we're on. We voted to go back into public session. Can we have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved. Motion.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Have a great holiday, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you next year.
Yeah.